What's going on YouTube? Khallid AKA Smoove Flipper. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I want to go over, a question that I had recently on my Instagram. Somebody had basically was telling me, how do they deal with other flippers in their area? How are they, or how am I doing well when I have other flippers in my area? And I feel like this is a good question because I do get this a lot. I feel like a lot of new phone flippers are getting into this and are becoming intimidated just by seeing the amount of ads that they have in their area from other flippers and stuff like that. So I do want to go over basically kind of like what I do to deal with other flippers in my area. And I have a couple. I have about 3 or 4 consistent flippers in my area who I see, their ads constantly. There's actually a guy who bought my course in my area. He's also, doing well. He's picking up phones and stuff like that. But, I don't look at them as competition, as far as, I'm not trying to slander them or do anything to where I'm flagging their ads, stuff like that, just to get ahead. I don't have that mentality. I don't think you guys should either. So, but I do want to talk about why it is important that you guys are, in a sense, dealing with other flippers in the area. So, the first thing I want to go over and why it's important is just, the fact that, you're building relationships, you're networking with other flippers. In some big areas, you might not come across too many flippers as far as you guys messaging back and forth or meeting up, face to face. But when it comes to you guys building relationships and networking, you never know who you're going to come across. There's some flippers in the area who have really good connections to where, they can pay just as good as eBay is paying for cracked and bad ESN devices. And, if you guys weren't dealing with each other, you wouldn't have known that. So in my area, I have a really good buyer who pays a lot. So, I get a lot of my phones, from a couple, flippers who are in the area, and they know that they can send me their crack phones, their bad ESN phones, because I want to pay well, and then sometimes they just don't want to deal with eBay. So, when you guys are networking and you guys are, putting yourself out there with other flippers in the area, you never know who you're going to come across. You might come across a guy who's flipping phones and he knows someone else that can get a couple phones a week, and, he wants to pass them off to you. You never know who you're dealing with at any given time. So it's just important that you guys reach out, acknowledge that acknowledge them and let them know that you obviously see them. They're flipping phones. You guys chat a little bit, talk about whatever. And I've done that before plenty of times in my area. I reach out to them and say, hey, you're a phone flipper. Yeah. We talk a little bit, and then I'll say, hey, if you don't deal with repairs and you don't like getting cracked and bad ESN phones, I can buy them from you. So just let me know. And I've landed a bunch of deals that way, because I didn't have that mentality that everybody who's flipping in my area is competition. I'm gonna wipe them out by any means necessary. And I didn't have that kind of mentality. I was thinking, okay, let's work together, and I can network with them. So if I'm getting like 2 or 3 phones a week from them, based off of their ads and their leads, then I'm basically getting their phones pretty much. I'm basically just getting what they have in stock and buying them from them. The margins aren't the best as far as if I was just to get it from the seller, but I'm still making money. They're meeting up with me with 3 or 4 phones. I'm making $40 a phone. $120 to $160 profit, with little work. They did all the work as far as, inspecting and all that stuff. I'm going to still do that, but they made sure that the phone was good to go before they sent it over to me or before we met up. So it's good that you guys are building relationships. It's good that you guys are networking with each other, just because you never know who you're going to run into. You might come across a guy who, just moved to the area. He might be one of those guys who just, we're doing tons of units a week in his previous area, and he's looking to find somebody else to work with. So you never know. So it's good to build those relationships. Number 2, I want to go over something that I do get a lot in my area as well is, when you have that relationship with different flippers, then you guys can pretty much pass off deals. What I mean by that is, You know, let's say someone messages another flipper in your area. They have 10 iPhone X's, all unlocked, all ready to go, and the flipper that they contacted does not have the capital to buy, 10 iPhone X's. They just don't have it. So if you guys already have that relationship, they're gonna feel more comfortable, sending that person to you than just some random flipper. If you guys have somewhat of a friendship to where, you guys can say, look, I'll send you phones that I can't buy due to capital, as long as I get a little cut out of that. So let's say, the 10 phones that you have, iPhone X's, let's say they say, okay, I need $30 per phone. So if you buy those phones, I need $30 per phone. So you're gonna give them $300 out of that deal, and you're gonna be left with the profit at the end. So just make sure you obviously calculate the correct profit. Make sure you understand that you're giving them $300. Let's say that's the deal, and don't just offer a price where you're only making $300. That doesn't make sense. So it's just good that you guys are helping each other with leads. And I've had this plenty of times. I had people say, hey man, I don't have no cash. This guy came in with a bunch of phones. Do you think you can buy them? And I'll say, yeah, of course. Or somebody will message me, saying, hey, I got a guy in my area who has as many phones. I can link you guys together, and hopefully you can buy these phones from him. He can ship them to you. Just different scenarios. You guys never know. But the fact that you guys can help each other with leads, and I do this a lot with the guy in my course who's not too far away from me. He does a lot of repairs. So I'm not someone that does repairs. I'm really, just as is phone flipper. So if there's phones that have cracked screens that I can't make the deal on, or have a cracked camera, or a bad charging port, things like that, I'll tag him into the post, or I'll add him into the conversation and say, hey, this is who buys these devices. This is who you can sell this device to. I don't buy them, but he does. So it's a good way to do that, just because you guys are passing leads off, and you guys are both making money, in a sense together, because without let's say the 10 iPhones that the guy passed off to you, you wouldn't have made any money. And if you didn't tag this person in a post that you couldn't buy the phone, then they're not making any money. They would have never saw that post. So it's good that you guys are all working together. And I'm not saying like as a partnership, like you guys should just go into business, form an LLC together and all that. Now, I'm not saying that, but having just an understanding that you guys are both flippers, you guys both are out here to make money, and you guys are both, just trying to succeed at this. So if you don't have that mindset to where, you're thinking, okay, this guy's phone flipping, I'm gonna flag all of his ads just because I don't want him buying any of the phones. So if you have that mindset, then this is not gonna work for you. Sorry guys, my camera died. But anyway, basically just to recap on what I said, as far as dealing with phone flippers in your area. Number one, you want to do this just to build relationships and to network with them. And then number two, it's a great way to deal with phone flippers in your area, because you guys can pass off deals, with each other, and you guys can both make money at the same time with each other. So if you guys enjoy types of videos like this, please drop a like. Show me that you are liking these types of videos. You guys have been showing me some great support for these past couple videos that I've made. As far as liking the videos, I do appreciate that. If you have any comments as far as questions you have that you guys want me to answer in the next video, then comment them down below, and I'll figure out what the best video or the best question to make a video out of. And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video.